right, today is Wednesday, December 9th. I'm back. Me and Ben dropped the bus off this morning. Came in the office. Dave wasn't here, so you got me.
That actually is probably good, right? You probably were happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a relief to not, like, I walked upstairs, no one was here. I was like, all right, I can at least ease my way into it for one day before.
I can't imagine. I mean, you more than anyone probably were attached to Dave's hip for the longest time, and then you had no Dave interaction. Now you're diving back into it. Like, that's a roller coaster right there.
And I know he's going to be coming at my neck, which is the worst part.
Oh,
for sure.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
We'll do this in the after show because we got a lot to talk about that. But I mean, this is you know that you're living in like the scariest time in the world. You have Sunday scaries basically until
Forever.
Dave decides to stop being like angry at you.
Yeah, I was in like denial about that happening until we dropped the bus off this morning. I was like, it was when it really hit me. I was like, fuck. It's all over. Vacation's over. But let's get into it. First story, Donald Trump got attacked by a bald eagle named Uncle Sam, which is just a crazy headline. Big Cat, what do you got?
A few things. One, the Trump crazies now, the people who genuinely think he'd be a good president are totally off the reservation. I say one thing about him, and they flip out, and they go insane, and they get all defensive. The dude's a buffoon. Like, he's a clown show. We've had our last. He's not a president. The bald eagle attacking him, I said in the blog, and I actually mean this, animal sense is real. Like, animals, when they run away from earthquakes, and they know a tsunami is coming, and they see ghosts, that's real shit. So this bald eagle knew what he was doing when he attacked Trump, and I guarantee you, Trump, if you asked him, if you shot him with truth serum, he'd be like, that was a really, really bad moment for me. Because he knows that a bald eagle, America, is basically saying, bro, kick rocks.
We said this about Chris Christie when he got kicked off the quiet train. And you said, you can't be a presidential candidate if you get kicked off of a train and no one takes you serious. You can't be a president if a bald eagle attacks you. And I value a bald eagle's opinion more than these Trump supporters. Like, you see all these statistics coming out saying that all the Trump supporters are basically like the retarded people of America. So I actually think that bald eagle is smarter than the Trump supporters. So that's how we should now determine presidential candidates, not voter polls, like things like that. You get kicked off a quiet car, you're gone. A bald eagle attacks you, you're gone. You embarrass yourself in public, you're gone. Those are the real things that determine who should run this country.
I mean, you take all the presidential candidates, bring them to the pound, and whatever dog wants to go home with that candidate, that's your president. That's your president.
When they have the octopus pick the Super Bowl winner, we got to do that with our president. Those guys, the animals can decide.
Yeah, and I'll appease everyone who thinks that I'm just being so slanted when I bash Trump. I guarantee if you took Trump and Hillary to a dog pound, the dogs would go nuts for both of them. They'd want to kill both of them. So there you go. I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah, I think it's a Bill Murray quote. It's like, I don't trust people who don't like dogs, but I do trust a dog when they don't like a person. So I agree with both of you guys.
Now, the follow-up to that is which candidate would be who would be the dog person of these candidates? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we let the dogs decide the president.
Probably Jeb, because Jeb is so non-confrontational. I feel like a dog would just go up and start licking Jeb's face and then sit on him. And
I feel like a dog would
do now.
I feel like he would piss on Jeb. I feel like he would just lift his leg and Jeb would be like, all right, cool.
But he'd love it. The dog would love Jeb. He'd be like, I own this human. Not the other way around. But Hank, I need to rewind the tape here. Rolling off of 3.5 months of drunken debauchery in the South and spitting out that quote, I mean,
he's got it. The kid, he's a changed man. He went a boy, he came home a man, he's hosting the rundown, he's a new man.
That was like drunken Peter Griffin playing the piano. I did not see that coming from you.
Yeah, it was one of those subliminal things. I think I saw it on Twitter a week ago, and it just popped in. Always good. Next up, baseball. Bunch of stuff happened that I don't really know about. You guys can probably go into it more.
Oh, we could circle you in here with the David Price. We never got your thoughts on that.
I mean, the same thing. I just kind of whatever Carabas says. I'm not a diehard baseball fan. I trust his writing, so I kind of just follow what he says. Castro, best walk-up song I've ever heard in MLB history. So sure you're sad to see that going, but what do you guys got?
I'm sad to see Castro go. I wrote a couple blogs about it. He's been through a lot of shit. You know, he was the guy he was our lone star when there was some really bad years. He's been with the Cubs the longest. But I understand also, like, there's a lot of talent, and Zobrist is probably going to be an upgrade, both like defensively and situational hitting. I will say this, though. Losing that walk-up song, losing Zero Haters hurts, and it hurts even more because the Yankees don't – that's not Yankees. Like, JJ kept on saying, oh, it's going to be great having a guy like this in the clubhouse. Fuck off, dude. The Yankees are all buttoned up and, you know, no facial hair and all that shit. A guy like Starlin Castro, he's going to be a caged songbird in New York.
The Yankees don't deserve him. They're gonna ruin. You know what they're gonna do, Yankee fans? They're gonna try to be like Cubs fans, like Zero Haters, and they're gonna try to do that, and they can't because they don't know how to. They're gonna ruin him. The Mets just got butt fucked in every single way.
You wanted Zobrist, come on.
I wanted him.
The deal's actually not that bad.
No, at that price, I would have taken him. When people started talking about $70, $80 million, I thought that was crazy. But the flip side of that is I think the Mets should be able to fucking spend what they need to spend. Right. So I don't really think Ben Zobrist is worth that kind of money. But as a fan of a big market New York team, I want them to just go fucking get these guys if they want them. Now they're gonna have to go crawling back to Daniel Murphy, which is just terrible for me. I've burned that bridge, built it back, reburned it. I mean, I'm just going back and forth across the Daniel Murphy bridge nonstop because I can't get him out of my life. It is It's a sad state of affairs for a team that has, from the David Price market being set, the team has like $1.5 billion of pitching, and they're just not going to upgrade in any way, shape, or form. It's sickening.
Not only that, Kevin, and I don't know what you do in this situation because it's actually kind of like the Cubs where you have all these young players. You don't really want to trade any of them before you know what some of them are because like if you trade Javi Baez and he becomes a perennial all-star, you're going to be like, fuck, man, we fucked that up. The price for pitching now, Shelby Miller. Dude, Shelby Miller's not he's a good pitcher, but he is not an ace's ace. And the Diamondbacks are insane. They're just going insane.
I've never even heard of him before, Dude. If that says anything.
He's good. He didn't win any games because he's on an awful team, but he's a good pitcher, and he's a young pitcher. They can control him for a while. But the Diamondbacks gave up 3 of their top prospects.
And the number 1 overall pick of just this last year. You haven't even seen how this panned out at all. And they were all insistent. The Braves were all about Pollock. And I feel like the Diamondbacks kind of let themselves get duped by being like, well, we don't have to include him in that, so we won. Not really, dude. You still gave out a boatload.
Right, and the Diamondbacks are doing there's always one team that does this every year. It's like the Padres last year. Yeah, yep. Where they just we're just going to win. We're going to go from not that good to winning the World Series in 1 year. And it always backfires. It
never works. But again, coming from a Mets fan who just sits here and watches them do nothing, I respect guys going all in and just being like, we're going all out on this. It really does never work though. The Marlins tried it. The Blue Jays tried it. The Padres.
It works for the Marlins. The Marlins do it every 10 years and it works.
We're getting to that point where it needs to work again pretty soon, or the Marlins are just a clown shoe organization.
They're trying to do it with Fernandez. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to trade basically a team's entire farm system for Fernandez.
Right.
Barry Bonds.
That's great, by the way, having Barry Bonds back in the league.
Oh, I missed that.
I love
Yeah, I love that too.
He's their hit coach now. Having him back in uniform, having Barry back in I love that. I always thought Barry was the fucking man. I don't care about anything.
He's the man. He's an asshole to reporters, which I have no problem with. And he is this. He's maybe starting. He's the number 1 black guy that talks like a white guy. It's like him and Torrey Hunter.
All right,
it's true. That's true.
And
right?
Curtis Granderson is the MVP of that team.
We got to make it all. That's actually kind of a racist list, so maybe we won't.
I'll take that on. Don't worry. That's a cost I can bear.
All right, next up we got the Warriors, best team in basketball right now. Steph Curry looks like a high school basketball player playing against 6th graders on a 8-foot hoop. He just does whatever he wants whenever he wants. It's fun to watch. They're undefeated right now until Friday. They're going to lose the Celtics, but it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on right now. Big Cat.
I officially, barring an injury, they're going to break the Bulls' 96 record. I was kind of in denial at first. This isn't going to happen. Just the way they're beating teams. I mean, the the craziest stat is they're 16-7 against the spread. And I know like people who don't gamble won't care, but that's an insane mark, especially when a shitload of these point spreads are in the double digits. And like you said, it's like last night I was watching the game. The Pacers were playing them well. And then it was like that. It was a 22-0 run. And they just start hitting threes. Like they bukkake you with threes. It's insane. They like 1 second you're in the game, and the next it's like three, and then you're out.
What's nuts too is they've had their close calls. Like the Pacers played them well. I think it was the Raptors a couple games before that. They only won
That's second overtime, yeah.
And so like those were their bad games. Now they're probably poised to rattle off like 10 more now because they got like their bad performances out. So I have no idea when it's going to stop. I mean, realistically, when do you think they lose their first game? If you told me like 40, I really wouldn't be that surprised. I wouldn't bat an eyelash at that.
Friday night.
I actually do think the Celtics could give them a run. I don't think they'll beat them. Tonight, the Bulls play the Celtics. The Bulls are a mess, but that's a good time to get the Celtics because they're probably looking forward to the Warriors, and the Bulls are coming off a bad loss. So I was looking at it. It's like they're going to probably go to Christmas. Like I said, unless someone gets hurt, I think
Klay Thompson sprained his ankle last night.
So that matters. I mean, if you lose Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, or Draymond Green, they're not going to be – they won't kill everyone. They'll still be a really, really good team. They won't kill everyone.
And I'll tell you this, every Vine I see where nobody even thinks about rebounding anymore, they all just start running down the court. It's the best thing in sports. It's not the best thing in basketball. It's the best thing in sports when everyone just puts up threes and runs down the court because they know it's going in.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you think it's going to run over. It's like, oh, everyone freaks out on Twitter. Like, Steph Curry is the greatest. Then you watch the Vine and he does some shit that, like, it's unbelievable.
It's just not fair. There's never been anyone like him who has the handles that he has with the shooting. It's always one or the other. You always got guys who have the handles or guys who are spot up shooters and they need someone else to get their shot for him. He does it all. It's I don't know how you defend him. I think someone's just got to punch him at some point. Just like try it.
I will say that in a serious way, like you got to rough that dude up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible. He's so fucking like he's got the handle. You can't rough him up. But you got to try something. You got to put him on his ass at least.
Right. It sucks to say because you want to see them keep going on the streak they're going. But if you, like in the playoffs, you just need a goon squad to just like tackle.
Clothesline that dude. Yeah.
All right. Commercial break. I got to say, being on the road, I'd watch the rundown. Every time the commercial didn't play, I would die laughing. I didn't really understand that before. Like when I was doing it and I was involved, I would kind of get mad when people would chirp me, but just hilarious when you say commercial and then it's just
nothing.
Yeah. Chrissy Teigen said she wanted Floyd Mayweather's tiger to eat him alive, and people freaked out. They got in a little Twitter fight. KFC, this was you.
Teigen is, it's funny to sit there and be like, I hope Floyd Mayweather gets eaten by his tiger, but then you can't get upset when people make it a big deal. If a Sports Illustrated supermodel says she wants the fucking heavyweight champion of the world to get eaten by a tiger, it's going to be a story, Chrissy. You know what you're doing. You know how Twitter works. You can't then go on a Twitter rant afterwards being like, why does everyone... I mean, I agree with her that people who are taking it seriously are fucking lame. PETA freaking out, they're lame. But it is what it is. I'll say this. Floyd calling her John Legend's wife, or John Legend, that is a fucking knife through the heart. I don't care what she says. That is a slap in the face.
But it's so true because when you really think about it, if Chrissy Teigen wasn't married to John Legend, would she still be relevant? The only relevance she has is she shows up in every fucking award show with a stupid face.
I mean, she was on the Sports Illustrated cover. Do you think that's because of John Legend?
No, I'm saying the continued relevancy is tough to keep up. I don't know if she would do it if she didn't have John Legend anymore.
Yeah.
John Legend is a bigger star than she is.
But she has now established herself as like people want to go check her Twitter feed for shit like this.
It's the worst. I just don't like the fact that she takes shots and then when anyone makes fun of her back, she's like, "Oh, I'm done with the day. Like I'm done with this." You can't play like that.
She should just double down. Like she wants the tiger to eat him. Like that's why you say stuff on Twitter, not like it's crazy when people say that kind of stuff that's controversial and then freak out when people freak out over them. It's just say what you want to say.
We forgot we should do a moment of silence for the year anniversary.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the anniversary of Dave's death.
Right. All right. We'll do a 10-second moment of silence starting right now.
I looked at
Dude, come on.
You ruined the moment. That was a half a second of silence right there.
That's it. You can't recapture the silence. No.
Sorry.
That was
I went back last night and was looking at those responses. I wanted to fire off a bunch of retweets, but I didn't want to get even more Dave mad at me. But
you should have told me
those were the funniest. Like, that was probably the funniest, like, night of people bashing Dave on Twitter and, like, the history of Barstool.
It was. I remember just crying all night because Dave was he disappeared. He absolutely disappeared. Teigen, I know he'll say he had the Hell's Bells video. We know that that's just a lie, and he'll go to.
See, that's an example of what you're talking about, Hank. She doubled down on that. She kept going at him. That made it funnier. Feidelberg's Vine was hilarious.
President's dead. He's dead.
Everybody, and then Dave's response was probably his worst ever. Like, that was Dave. Like, that was his worst performance ever when he finally did speak up. It was a perfect night of Dave bashing.
But she only went back. She only doubled down is because all the stoolies were like encouraging her tweet. If everyone had gotten mad at her and been like, "How dare you say this?" Like, she probably would have went on a rant. Like, "Can't believe I asked someone to at me." Like, that's how she is, which is why she's the worst.
One last thing about this topic before we move on. I'm not like I kind of understand. Peter's crazy, but I kind of understand like you don't put a fucking wild animal in a house. But with that said, Russians, drug dealers, and boxers, those three people can own tigers. Like, no problem in my mind.
I had no idea there's tigers in Russia. What?
Oh yeah, dude, that's fucking Asia.
Yeah, I guess so. But isn't it fucking really cold in Russia?
Yeah, you ever heard of those white tigers, the Bengal? Or is that what kind of tigers? Snow tigers? What's their name?
Well, I think are they actually
white tigers
in the snow, or are they just white and you think they're in the snow? Are they really like snow tigers?
I'm pretty sure that's like their camouflage. Like they're wearing camouflage.
Why? I don't know if they would have black stripes then, but whatever.
There's twigs and stuff in the snow.
True. I'm gonna go with you on this one.
All right, that's the rundown.
That was a good rundown, Hank. But now let's get to the juicy stuff. You tell us the truth. There had to be a small part of you that was like, we should just not go back.
Straight Goodwill Hunting, just disappear.
The problem with Dave is there was 2 times where we were thinking about going rogue and just being like, no matter what, we were going to just do it without asking or doing anything. But both times, he was like, we were going to go to Carolina instead of like Mississippi State. And he was like, if LSU wins, you can go to Carolina, but Alabama won, so we couldn't. Then it would be like, like a big fuck you to him. And we were going to do it, but then he wrote a blog that was like, I think they're going to go rogue and disappear. So it was like, that would have ruined the point of it. But yeah, there was some serious discussions about just going off the map because, I mean, he like would never hit us up. So we were just going to go disappear until like he was like, where the fuck are you guys?
Until the paychecks stop, until the credit cards cut off, just keep going.
Yeah,
he cut that credit card off in a second, though.
But honestly, I honestly think it would have been like a week before he figured it out. The fact that he didn't know we were at the ACC championship was one of the most shocking, like unbelievable parts of the entire tour. He unfollowed us. Like before the trip, we were like, I was like, how are you gonna monitor us? He's like, oh, just see on Twitter. He unfollowed us on Twitter like 2 weeks ago.
You know what? The whole Dixie tour is like a microcosm for Barstool. Like, so haphazard, slapped together. Still worked though. Still like was a big success. But like nobody knows how or why, and Dave didn't even know what the fuck was going on on his own company dime. That's Barstool right there.
Yeah.
So Hank, how emotional were the goodbyes? I imagined it was like Road Rules or Real World when everyone's just crying and like hugging and you're like, oh, keep in touch. You'll never see them again kind of thing. Although we'll see Caleb again. But you may never see Yev and Ben again.
Yeah. It was sad. I mean, like, we went so hard the last week because we knew it was the last week. Like, we were so dead on Sunday. It was kind of just like, we didn't even, like, I still don't even feel like I'm not hungover still, if that makes sense. Like, I still, like, just... My brain is like soaking wet.
You're not going to be right for like. You're not going to be right for like a couple months, dude.
Yeah, my brain's like a soaking wet sponge right now. I need to like let it breathe and like dry up. But yeah, I mean, it was sad to say goodbye.
I think your brain's supposed to be a soaking wet sponge.
No, but like soaking wet of like alcohol. Like it's a sponge, and then there's just been like alcohol poured on top, and it's just.
Got it.
It's an alcohol sponge. You've never heard of an alcohol sponge, Brain?
Yeah. Got it.
But yeah, we had a group text today. We were all just going back and forth with all the pictures, like the random pictures, and it was kind of sad.
Oh man, and Dave, obviously, I mean, let's be honest. That was a 3 months of like the best time of your life. You went to every college. You guys were, hooking up with hot chicks at every SEC school. You're getting drunk, doing one video a week. It was a good time.
And
Are you nervous that Dave is forever going to hold that over your head?
Oh, 100%.
I was going to say, that's the stupidest question ever. No fucking doubt.
Like, I know it is. Sometimes you got to ask the obvious questions to get him talking about it. Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be like, no matter what, he's just going to be coming at my neck. Like, somehow he's like mad at me for him sending me on this tour. Like, he's mad that I got to go on the tour that he sent me on to do. Like, somehow that's my fault. It is what it is. What
you needed to do, Hank, is like all along you should have been downplaying it somehow. Like sending out tweets and making videos like, this is just the worst. This boss is terrible. Because, I mean, you just looked like you partied your dick off the whole time and had the time of your life, which you did. He saw too much. You needed to like downplay it a little.
The killer was the Michigan when he went out to Michigan, because he said to me after, he was like, these guys just party the whole time. I was like, yeah, what do you think, dude? He's like, we woke up before the Michigan game and they were just partying at 7 a.m. I was like, no shit, man. You just sent a bunch of 20-year-olds or 22-year-olds around college campuses. They're going to party.
And like didn't tell us what to do. It was just like, yeah, I'll know if it's good.
Here's the good news, and I think this is your way back in. Dave's been a mess. He's a mess. He's mentally like losing it. He's a troll, a full blown troll now.
Noodle, always noodle.
He's always noodle. The Patriots are like slowly. It's funny that the Patriots were what like kept them going last year, and in the Super Bowl, and all those videos were unbelievable. Now they're slowly like breaking him down mentally, because if they don't win a Super Bowl, I think he's gonna have he's gonna be the crazy man in the woods with a long beard yelling at no one.
No, but he's going to be yelling at me.
Teams murdering people come true. The Patriots will murder Dave if they don't win. He'll just break down as a human.
That's bad news, because the Patriots will murder Dave, and then Dave will take it all out on me.
No, but here's where you're coming back in, though. You are Dave's best friend. I know we joke about that, but you truly are his best friend. So he needs a best friend right now. This is like kind of the perfect time to come back. Like, he needs a best friend, and you're there to be his best friend.
I don't think that's the case.
Well, you don't think what part of it?
A, that I'm his best friend, and B, that me coming back at a bad time is bad. Because he's in a bad mood, and he's going to look for reasons to, like, he gets off on, like, getting mad at people. Like, that's how he, like, gets happy, and, like, if he's having a bad day and he flips out, like, he'll be like, take a deep breath and smile.
But the flip side is, like, he would yell at you to have, like, the best day. Like, if he was having a good day, his horse won a race, he's winning some bets, he'd be like, I'm going to go fucking berate Hank and have this will be the best day of all time. It's going to go from a 10 to an 11. So you're really screwed either way.
Yelling at you is like his happy ending. It's like, good massage, and I'm going to go yell at Hank and get off here.
Yeah, I don't know.
You are his best friend, though. That actually is true. I can't believe you. Like, come on.
Hank, who's a better friend of his than you?
Name him. You guys?
Us?
I mean, I didn't talk to him for like 3 months, so some best friend he is.
It, dude. You don't. How would you feel if you didn't talk to your best friend for 3 months?
I don't know.
Yeah, you'd start exactly, because people don't do that. People don't just stop talking to their best friend for 3 months. This is why
we're not best friends.
No, I think he was. I think he's. I think you're his best friend.
It was like you were best friends and like you died. And he lost his best friend, and now it's back. And
he just started talking to himself and doing rundowns of himself. Like, it's not like he just was like, oh, Hank's gone, so I'm just going to, like, he did a fucking fake jerk-off challenge to himself. Like,
and I'll tell you why. Here's why you're really his best friend. He couldn't even just replace you with someone else to yell at. It has to be you.
Yeah.
Something about you that he loves so much, it has to be you that he's yelling at.
Every time he yelled at Dylan, it was like awkward. It didn't work. It's like not natural. Like, dude, Dylan's not really fucking up here. Like, why are you yelling at him? You're just going through the motions. You need Hank.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's like bullshit, where everyone, like, I was never fucking up either, but. Oh, yeah. I mean, and honestly, I've never fucked up in my career at Barstool ever. It honestly feels like a bad it just feels like a bad being back in the office. Nothing has changed one bit, and it's just like I'm so soaking wet brained that I just forget that the Dixie tour even happened, and I'm just back in.
That's what Caleb. I was texting with Caleb last night. He said the same thing. He's like, I can't believe the real world is kind of still going on. Yeah, we've just been watching from afar as you guys fuck like tens and drink yourself stupid every weekend.
Yeah, hopefully Caleb, because I mean, Dave will do whatever. Dave's all about Caleb, so hopefully he can think of something that gets us back on that bus and away from this place.
You need to get back on. You need to buy him something for tomorrow. Like bring in some donuts or something.
No. Listen, there's only one thing that Dave wants from Hank, and it's just his ears to berate. So just you know what you need to do? Screw up on purpose. Do something on purpose and just let Dave eviscerate you, and I guarantee in some sick way that'll be better for you guys.
Yeah, let him get it out. I actually agree with that.
This rundown at 9 o'clock tonight. That'll do it.
Cut off one of your other fingers. Drone accident number 2. Just produce some kind of content so Dave can get it all out, and he can do the blog like, Hank has only been back for 24 hours, and he already did this. You need to get that out of the way.
Yeah, because that's definitely happening no matter what.
All right. Good
all right.
rundown.
All right, thanks.
That was actually really well hosted.
Thank you.
Well done, Hank. Well done.
Good to be back.
Yeah, see you when you're dead.